what belief in I don't know does for you. That's his evolution. That's his Big Bang.
Why are you so scared of the truth?
No, folks.
Why are you so scared of
If I
reality?
say to Steve,
Why are you so scared of the world being
of
older
science,
than 6,000 years?
maybe you
Why are you
could
so
help
scared
him.
of it?
I bet he could. I bet his son is smarter than Steve in a defined word called science. Very simple word. The word science means knowledge. Knowledge. You know knowledge. You're growing up. Your dad loves you enough to teach you things.
Father's already
knowledge.
said bring his son into it.
Hey,
Why are you
hey,
ignoring his father's
try not to
Why
get
are you
angry
ignoring
all
his
at
father's
once,
wishes?
Steve. It's obvious. No, see
Again,
you
what
later.
religious freaks
No.
often do. Abuse children
You know what
against
the
the wishes of their
definition of
parents.
science is?
It's a common theme in
Knowledge.
religion. The more religious you are, the
Knowledge.
more likely you are to be a child
Now let
abuser.
me ask you
Fact.
something. If
Not just
science
Christianity.
is
Not
knowledge,
just Christianity.
is there false knowledge? Like
The
Steve
abuse
believes?
of power and trust of vulnerable people.
Is there
That's
false
what religious
knowledge?
people do. That's why they hang around outside prisons.
Is
They prey on the
evolution
vulnerable. That's why they prey on
false
alcohol,
knowledge?
alcoholics, on drug addicts.
Is
They need vulnerable
evolution
minds
false
to recruit.
knowledge?
That's what religious people like him
Folks,
depend on.
It's a simple question. Steve,
Jesus Army
not
used to sit in
able
Leicester
to
Square waiting for the
answer.
drunks on a Friday night. They are
Evolution
desperate for vulnerable minds.
is false knowledge.
Successful,
False
intelligent,
science.
bright people don't want to touch them.
I'll tell you why
Prey on people who are at a
evolution
low point in
is
their life.
false knowledge.
Low point, vulnerable people that they
Evil-
want to recruit. They want to sign up. They want their money. Show me a single organised religion that doesn't want
Show
your money.
me one day out of the last 30 years I've asked you for money. You're a liar.
No, because you don't
But I
do
want to
that
tell
here,
you
do you?
this,
You don't
folks.
do that bit of your
Science,
religion here. You do
which
that bit
Steve
elsewhere.
rejects for
You run a
God.
ministry. Don't tell me
He
you don't beg
thinks
for money.
that science is above
What is your
God,
funding
yet
source?
God is the creator
What is your funding
of all
source, Steve?
real
Come on, let's be honest.
science.
Give us some honesty.
The
What is your
of
ministry's
this
funding
earth.
source?
Shut up
Where'd
long
you
enough
get your
to
money
listen.
from? You brought up
Without-
money. Where'd you
without
get your money
science,
from?
That's good science.
He doesn't want to answer my
He
questions
rejects
either.
the
He
living
doesn't
God
answer a single one of
for
my
fake
questions.
science.
It
Evolution.
was with Paddy when he Paddy
Where'd
was
you
The
get your
single
funding from,
cell
Steve?
organ. Hey,
Where'd you
just
get your
a
funding
minute,
from?
Steve.
Who pays the bill?
You want to know
Who
how
pays
I
the bills?
pay my bills?
How did you buy that X
All
pub
of a
in East
sudden,
London?
he's going as far as away as he can from evolution. He wants to know.
Oh, let's
how
go back to the
now
amoeba.
I'm
You want to know
funded.
how an amoeba came
Now,
about? You're
folks,
going to listen for 2
folks,
seconds.
Is evolution
You're not going to listen to
factual?
anything, are you?
I will in just
Yes,
a
it
moment.
is factual. It's
You've
going
got
on
to
within our
learn
lifetime.
to be quiet in order to listen. I will if you respect me, Steve. But there's nothing there.
You're not answering a single
There's
point or
none
question.
there.
That's crazy.
I try to talk, Steve tries to talk over me because he's angry. Because he's angry about what he cannot prove as factual. Now,
Maybe he's
Steve,
frustrated
just
more
a
than
minute.
angry.
Steve, yes, frustrated is part of your anger. Now, let's give Steve an opportunity to answer my question, okay? And you can phone a friend too. Now, you have
A
some.
real friend, not a make-believe one in the
Yeah,
cloud.
that's your friend. You phone him, okay?
Why would I phone him?
And listen, I'll give you a
Are you gonna send me
second
a
phone in
text?
too. So Steve, according to scientific fact, how did the single cell organism
I have told you this many
come
times before,
into being?
but I will tell you again.
Scientific fact,
Organic
not
mo-
theory.
Right, how long are you going to let me
I'm
talk?
just.
How long?
I'm the speaker. You're the squeaker.
But don't ask me a
I will
question
tell
then.
you when it's time.
Don't
now
ask me a
is the
question.
time.
Right. Organic molecules that had a hydrophilic and a hydrophobic end.
Stop! Stop!
No, let me
Stop.
continue.
I'm gonna repeat.
Let me continue.
Can everybody hear him?
They can hear me.
Can everybody? Can you hear what he said? Keep going then. That's gotta make
Organic
sure.
molecules, hydrophilic, hydrophobic, naturally
Hydrophobic,
form a
hydrophilic.
membrane. That formed the first cell.
Where did that come from?
I've just told you, from fucking organic molecules.
And where
with
did
a-
that come from?
See, you can't have any
You
discussion
see,
with
folks,
this man.
he wants to start with something that exists, not with
Organic
something
molecules
that doesn't
came
exist.
from inorganic
That
molecules.
means
And
something
then you're going to say, where did
that
they come
exists
from?
came
Can't have a
from
discussion with
nothing.
you.
Which came
Steve.
first, the chicken or you?
Listen, it doesn't matter. God created the chicken. God created all things. And you say that God doesn't exist.
You are dishonest.
Because you erased
You are
God
dishonest.
for your
You are
sinful
dishonest,
nature.
Steve. You ask me a question, you say you're going to give me time to answer it. You don't like my
I asked
answer.
you where it
you
came
immediately jump in and ask another question.
I'm the
You are
speaker.
dishonest.
If you want to talk,
You are
go
dishonest.
over there.
You are dishonest.
I'm trying to help you, but it's going to take
Then ask
weeks.
one question and wait for that one question to be answered without jumping in with
Steve,
subsequent
my
questions.
class is,
Quite
you're trying to
simple.
take all my class time. I can't do that. Listen, I can teach you.
class
I can teach you.
So admit
If
you're
you want-
asking me
if
questions.
you want
It's
single
disingenuous
classes,
and dishonest.
I'll make a time, an appointment for teaching one-on-one. But today,
Sorry, my brain's-
Steve, look at me.
Then why do you-
I like you,
why-
but
Hammer,
Steve,
hammer.
not enough for you to take
I do
over.
remember.
Right?
But
Now,
you're asking questions is dishonest, isn't it? Because you don't want to hear the answer.
We're taking.
Do you?
We're taking.
That's a
you-
dishonest
Just a
broker
minute,
there.
Steve.
Thoroughly
We're
dishonest.
taking your wisdom in
Disingenuous.
small chunks. Now, can anybody repeat?
Because that's
what
how
he
you
said?
understand things, isn't it?
Can
In
anybody
small chunks.
repeat? That's what I'm asking right now. Who can repeat what he just said? And if nobody even knows what you said, Steve, and you
That's
don't,
probably because you're shouting
well,
over it.
say it again. Single cell,
Single
hydrophonic.
cell, organic molecules, well,
Organic?
hydrophilic and hydrophobic.
Okay,
Shall I
where did-
explain
and
what
I
that
said,
means?
where
Shall I
did they
explain
come
what that-
from?
One end that likes to be in contact with water, another end that doesn't
And
like
where
to be
did
in
water
contact.
come from?
So that
You see, folks, you get back to
even
Steve.
your wife is laughing.
Yes, because you have a ridiculous beginning.
I'm not even using the word beginning. You
I
asked how a
am.
single cell
Who
came
cares
about.
that the tree's there and we know it came from a seed? Where did the first tree come from? You're starting with something.
A
I'm
smaller
telling you,
plant.
God created
A smaller
everything,
plant.
and it's
I'm
beautiful.
glad you used the tree because
Even you are beautiful.
anti-evolutionists never talk
Even
about
in your
plants.
confusing
You never talk about bacteria.
ideas,
You
because
never talk
you
about
wanna
fungus.
erase
It's always
God.
the animal.
We want to say, I don't have a conscience and there is no sin. And so Steve
Can't
makes a
stick
joke
to a subject, can
about
you? You're
sin.
all over the place.
We like to
You
joke
cannot stick to a
about what
subject.
we're afraid of. We like to joke about
If your
homosexuality
God was true, of course I
and
would
gender
be scared of him.
dysphoria.
He slaughters
We like
people
to
in their
joke
thousands
about
through
crime.
tsunamis,
We
through
like to
earthquakes.
joke about
He allows
rape.
babies to be born with
We
cancer.
like to joke
Why
so
would I
we
worship
get
such a
away
thing?
from the subject of the truth that God so loved the world
He gave his
that He
childhood
gave
cancer.
His one
That's love.
and only Son, that whosoever would believe in
And he
Him
murdered his son. Is that the
would
best story you
be
can give us?
saved from their sin.
How can we laugh about rape?
You can joke about it or deviate all you want, but when you are all alone, you know you have a conscience, and your
So does a
conscience
dolphin have a
says
conscience.
guilty.
So does a dolphin have a
Guilty.
conscience?
The only
It
person
does
that has
not.
no conscience here is this.
A dolphin never wants to be like you, Steve. Ever.
Oh, well, that proves your point then, doesn't it?
Listen, a dolphin doesn't jump out of the water and say, I want to be a lion. I want to be a lion.
Neither do I.
No, you want to be anything but you. You are, you
that
are,
mean?
because
What
you,
does that
Steve,
even mean?
you are your
You want
worst
to be anything
enemy.
other than you.
You don't know you are your worst enemy.
How am I my
Because
educate me?
sin
How am I my
That
worst
you
enemy?
reject as true has eaten your life up.
And where's your
Sin.
evidence for that?
Listen, the wages of sin is death.
But how's it
But the
eaten my
gift
life?
of God
How's it
is
eating my
eternal life through Jesus Christ. We can reject His life all we want. Just like rejecting the oxygen that we don't see, and yet we gulp it in.
But we're clever enough to measure it.
We're clever enough.
We know oxygen
Steve,
is there because
don't
we're clever
say
enough
you're
to measure
clever
it.
when you're not. You're not clever at all. You can't even explain
Well, 'cause I
how
don't
this thing
believe in the
began
backward
from
folklore
nothing.
Written in the desert by
Steve,
bloody goat herders.
You say you
A long
believe
way away from
what you
here.
say about evolution.
Copied from all
Nobody
other religions.
can
There was
repeat
nothing
what
original
you
in
just
your
said
religion.
because they know what you said isn't true. It's only true to you, nobody else.
What?
But God still loves you, Steve, and He wants to change your life.
The supercilious, disingenuous
Hey, Steve,
nonsense of religion.
I love you
but
too.
He loves you still.
Yes, love doesn't.
Why did he give me lower back pain? Varicose veins, eyeballs that are the wrong size that I had to put lenses in front of them.
Well,
a willy that could be a little bit
thankful.
bigger. Why did he do all
Be
these things?
thankful you've got eyeballs that see and stop
Yeah, but I
whining.
had to go
There are
to a
plenty of blind
scientist
people
who put
and
bits of
stop
plastic in
whining.
front of my eyes so I can even
You're
see
a
you.
45-year-old
Your God has fucked me
snowflake.
up.
Stop being a snowflake. Now, listen. God
He's fucked
can
this world
change
up.
our
He
soul.
couldn't even create the crust without
God
it
can
breaking
change
up and sliding
our
and moving
soul.
and bouncing and killing
You
it.
want to whine about what you
No, 'cause
don't
you don't
have
know the
and what
reality
you
of
have.
your loving God's
What
world.
good is that going to do him? What good will that do
This is
him?
proof to some of your friends that
Listen, we
I
all
pick on
know
Christians.
we got
as well.
enough whiners all over this earth. Don't add to it, Steve. We all need God's
No, we
mercy.
don't.
We don't?
You might as well say we all need alcohol.
Well, that's your
We all
mercy.
need CBT. We all need
Steve,
any other.
Steve,
We all need
you
the
need
placebo.
God's grace.
No, I
You
don't.
don't have
he
it, so
doesn't
you
have
say,
grace.
no, there's no such
He
thing as
doesn't have
God.
grace.
There's no such,
He's a
everybody
petulant,
on this earth wants
totalitarian
mercy.
CUNT.
If you're married, you want more mercy. Because you got to deal with a close relationship.
So demonstrate to me God's
Without
mercy.
Jesus
Show me
Christ,
God's mercy.
who died for the sins of the world and rose again because he was God in the flesh, without him,
We needn't have
we
bothered doing it
have
in the first
no
place,
hope
really.
of love, joy, true joy. We got artificial love called lust. And it's eating
Sex.
us up.
North,
It's
bad.
eating us up because we know in our conscience it's wrong.
Sex is bad.
But we don't know how to
Naughty,
deal with
evil.
it.
Don't touch yourself. Only
Sex
the Abrahamic
is not
religions do
bad,
that.
but it's also ordained by God to be pure. Now, if you take the word sex like Steve did and you manipulate it
I'm manipulating
however
the
you
word
want
sex.
to deem it, then if
Hello,
she doing
Dad.
here?
how
Right, Dad.
you want to do that, that's up to you.
Word, you like it?
But you know what? For God so loved the world that he gave.
keep
He didn't
repeating
take.
that. You keep
He didn't
repeating
take.
that.
He gave us something. If we don't want it, like Steve, you refuse it and you believe in fake science.
Fake
But it's your
science.
choice.
Where do you go when you're
It's
ill?
your choice.
Where do you go when you're
Isn't
ill?
it wonderful?
Where do you go when you've got toothache?
gives you choice.
Oh, that's a good point.
God gives you love.
Where do you go when you have toothache?
And if you don't want God's love, you have to find love somewhere else.
Oh no.
We all want love. Anybody here want more hate in their life? Aren't we sick of hate? Aren't we sick of envy, greed?
Oh God, it is.
London is becoming one of the biggest cities for crime, rape,
Oh no.
Oh, blame Carl.
and all
Blame silly
the evil
Carl for
things
that.
a big city has. Now, even more than New York City. Could it be? But you know what? God's love still changes individual hearts. Hey, don't fall off yet. God's love can change the soul.
I'm gonna fall
The
off my
arsehole.
bike when you lose your voice.
Well, you're not praying loud enough.
I am.
How
I'm,
loudly do
Wanting
you
my
need to
wife-
pray?
I'm praying to my own God.
Hey, I
That's
wish
the devil.
I wish I lost my voice too. I love to hear my wife talk about her salvation.
Let her then.
Well, that'd
Well,
be-
we'll see.
Yeah, no,
Do you want to yet?
Why? Why did
You want to now or later? Huh? Not yet, she said. See, she doesn't have your mind nor mine.
No, because
She has her own.
Because she will listen to what we're asking questions. You don't
She
listen
probably
to
will.
questions.
Yes, probably
What
will.
did you say?
Oh, you're so funny. You should be a
What did you
comedian.
say? I don't listen to your questions, which I just did?
Yeah, you're a comedian.
Well, you know, it's not a comedian, it's just that you don't like what I'm saying. Now, have you ever considered asking Christ to change your soul?
What's his email address?
It's
Is he on
repent.
WhatsApp?
REPENT. Repent. Do you know what that is?
Yahoo, Hotmail. Or...
Sincerity. I mean, isn't it amazing? He wants to bring it down to a phone number because his mind is natural. And listen, without Christ to change our mind supernaturally, not Superman, super son of God, we only deem things natural, right? So We've
you
got,
get your trousers
just a
from?
minute,
I
I'm
want a
not
pair.
done
I want a pair
yet.
of
We've
them
got a
trousers.
ladder or steps, as they call them here.
Do you get them from
We've
Primark?
got a push bike or bicycle, right? We've got a man, you're a man.
You just touched me. That's
Are
just
you a man?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, he's
I
a
am.
man.
I'm more of a
All
man
right?
than you are.
Well, we're gonna test our manhood today.
Oh,
No.
Listen,
Sounds
a real
rude.
man and a real woman is sincere with God. That's the purpose of life. The closer you get to God, the more you understand what a man or a woman is. The more you and I humble ourselves before the God who loves us, the more we understand what life is all about.
Screaming is not being humble.
What?
Screaming is not being humble.
What do you mean screaming?
Like you screaming right now.
Listen,
No, you haven't
listen,
started yet.
let me ask you this. What's your name? What?
I don't want to say my name.
Okay, I'll just call you somebody. Somebody, is my screaming annoying you?
Yeah.
Yes, well then walk away. I mean, here's a guy who sits there and
I'm actually having
subjects
fun
himself
watching you.
to my screaming that he doesn't like, but he doesn't understand that his feet can walk. Who like that? I can prove it. You can leave if you want.
I don't want to leave.
You're just,
I'm free to
well
stand
then
up.
stop being annoyed by my so-called screaming.
No, he's allowed to be a man.
Listen, he's allowed to be here. I want him to be here. But he's complaining about his own
Did you
problem,
eat
not
breakfast
mine.
yesterday? Did you eat breakfast? I don't think you got your breakfast or your coffee.
Wow, strong point. He's worried about my. Thank you for being worried about my
I
breakfast.
am worried about you. I think you've got mental health issues.
Listen,
I really think you ought to
if
go
you're
to the
worried about
hospital.
me,
Did you run over the-
what does
over
that
the
say?
pancake mix?
You're listening to me.
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Not
And
much
God
competition, is there?
sent His Son
Not
to
much
give us
competition.
I'm
peace.
listening to you. I'm listening
Do
to
you
you.
know what
and I feel
peace
sorry
is?
for you.
Piece of cake?
Piece of cake.
What, piece of what? Yes, you want a piece of everything? I don't. Well, you've got a little piece of this today. You're subjecting yourself to that, right, sir? Right? No? You're not listening, are you? No, answer's no, he's not listening. No, sir. Do you know, you're missing the piece of the puzzle. Once you start involving someone, they start hiding. Why do we hide? At least Steve is standing here in his humility that he can explain evolution scientifically
Do I have a chance to get
without
into
being
heaven?
false.
No, you ain't got wings.
Listen,
To
God
be clipped every time.
gave us
Same alive.
truth. Jesus said, I am the way,
The way
the
to
truth, and the life.
He said
That's what Jesus said.